Hello and welcome. This is a video tutorial of how to use ActiveInspire software to create a math review. My school district purchased interactive whiteboards this past year, which I was very excited about, and along with that, this ActiveInspire software. If you're using smart software, I assume the tools are fairly similar, and if you're interested in math review, I'm going to spare you the chat on math review, other than to tell you that my classroom went from 2 and 3 points behind the district on our district-wide math assessments to #1 in the district, and the last time we were 15 percentage points ahead of the district, which is incredibly, it's really incredible. We were leaps and bounds ahead of everybody. My kids aren't super smart. I don't have the high ability class. In fact, we scored higher than the high ability class. The kids who have off the chart IQs, we did better than them. They have a different curriculum, but nonetheless, it's good to brag. So I will spare you the chat on why it's great other than that, and I've seen amazing results. So what does a math review look like on ActiveInspire? This is actually the math review that I used in today's lesson with my students, and this is my toolbar on the right, and a lot of times I have that minimized simply by clicking on that button. And you can get it back by clicking back. And really the only two tools that I use to create the whole math review in a matter of just a couple minutes is the text tool and the shape tool. So let's go to a blank screen here and start with the text tool, and I always have a white background just in case I want to print these out. You can very easily change your background by selecting the paint can here excuse me, and changing color. You can have any kind of background, but you want to be wary of freaking kids out. And hyperactive kids sometimes are sensitive to certain colors, so I just go white background, and it seems to work pretty well. So starting off, I'm just going to put a title in. Math review. Let's hopefully spell it correctly. Triple click to highlight all the words and underline. Center it, and you've got a title. Then I'm going to do question number 1. Move my text box where I want to, underline. Question 1, let's say it's multiplication. Oops, a daisy, and boom, you've got question 1. Now the other thing is to put a barrier around it, or a box around it, just to make it separated and easy for the kids. So use your shape tool. The thing to know about the shape tool, it's right here, and you have all these different shapes, and I always use a rectangle because it's easiest to manipulate. And you want to make sure the inside color is nothing, so you don't cover up what you've done. That would be frustrating. And the outside color is something bold that will be worth having a border. So I have chosen blue. So I just come over here, click, hold down the mouse, and drag it until I have it where I want. And if it's not exactly where you want, you can come over to your mouse pointer tool and click on it, and you can manipulate it any which way. You can make it larger, smaller, bigger. You can move it by clicking on this. You can rotate it however you need to using the rotate tool. You can undo if you did something and completely messed it up. You can always come over to undo. I know I'm going fast on these things, but hey, it is a video. You can always rewatch it. So let's do a slightly more sophisticated problem. Number 2, we shall say, is a problem where you want them to identify what part of the circle is shaded as a fraction. And you'll notice, oh no, my typing has gone off the page. So what I need to do is first grab it and move it around so I can see it, because I need this little dot here to click on and drag that back over. Oh, now I need my mouse cursor to bring it back where I want it. And yeah, that works. Come back, my shape tool, I'm going to highlight it. Again, make sure I have no fill inside, bold outside color, click, drag, highlight. And I'm going to leave some space at the bottom to make a circle. So now I come to my circle. Again, I don't want it filled. I want a bold background color or outline color like red. Click, drag, and I have a circle. Now, to make fraction parts, I'm going to use my line tool and a line segment. And when you hold it over any part of your circle, the outside of your circle, the circumference of your circle, it'll bring up the 4 cardinal directions that you can use to draw lines. Like so, and in 4th grade they need to know fourths. Then I'm going to come in and use my fill tool and a fun color to shade in 2/4 of my fraction. Then I need an answer line, and I just draw a line. So really, each day when I'm making a math review, it takes me, the first math review took me about 15 minutes. It's been tweaked over the school year, but when I make a new math lesson, it's a minute, if that. And I'm using the text tool, and I'm using the shape tool, and that's it. When I'm at the board, I'm using the pen to write. Sometimes I use the highlighter to highlight certain parts, important words, depending on how familiar you are with Active Inspire, you can get more involved. But as far as the sheer creation of the math review, it's text tool to make text, shape tool to draw boxes and shapes. So let me show you. Let me go back to this. So if I wanted to make a new lesson, my kids are really struggling with area and perimeter. So I already have the shapes and everything drawn. I'm just going to come in, select my text tool, change some numbers. You can time me, see how long this takes. And we'll leave that one the same. Draw a line segment 4 and, alright, let's change 4 to 5 and 1/2 inches, subtracting units of measure, 9 feet, we'll just call it 9 feet, minus, we will say 2 feet, 9 inches, just random numbers, round to the nearest whole number, so let's get a whole new number down here, and put, let's do a 3-digit number. That'll be fun. Over here, that one stays the same, we'll move this to 3/4, 4/10, and 47/100, and I'm literally just making this up as I go, and I'm done. Then I will want to be sure and file, save it as a new lesson, and I have a whole folder for this, Unit 8, and I would just save it as 8.8. Now I'm not going to do that because there is no 8.8 math review that I'm using, but I do want to caution you, you always want to save it as a new one, because the real excitement as I built, I'll just show you my math lesson, and sorry Everyday Math for showing your math journal pages, but I don't think anybody can copy that. So it literally takes me 10 to 15 minutes to make a math lesson on here, only 1 or 2 minutes to do the math review, and then next year all my lessons are made, and I may have to tweak my math review questions based on the needs of my students, because I'm not just using these willy-nilly. Please read the book 5 Easy Steps to a Balanced Math Program, but I'm using this based on my students' achievement data. Whatever they need, we work on in math review. Thanks for listening. I hope this was helpful.